Welcome to the Dave the Mystic Show. This is episode number 275, Dave the Mystic with medium and channel Sophia Rashkin. This is May 20th, 2016 from Littleton, Colorado. This show was pre-recorded on May 20th, 2016. Our guest tonight is medium Sophia Rashkin. Sophia has been self-employed for 19 years. During this time, she was a real estate broker for 9 years and then went on to be a partner in a successful internet marketing business for 10 years. Sophia left that business because of a spiritual calling. Now Sophia works with only 100% light spiritual energy, psychic medium, channeler, spiritual guidance, and mentorship transcriber of source energy. She also channeled a curriculum around releasing clearing vows from other lifetimes. She is now working on 2 more curriculums called Working on Yourself Within a Relationship and Parenting the Cosmic Conscious Child, mislabeled ADD, ADHD, Autistic. Sophia hosts a meditation metaphysics group in Denver called YAM, Y-A-M-M, Younger Adult Meditation and Metaphysics, and she also started 2 in Southern California, San Diego Encinitas, and the LA area, 1 in the San Francisco area, and 1 in New York City. She has been guided to start 6 more cities throughout the U.S. in 2016 and will then expand from there internationally. Tonight's show features Sophia channeling the divine high beings of light.
Well, welcome, Sophia. It's great to have you back on the show again, and tonight we're going to have you channel, so that should be wonderful. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Hi, Dave. Yeah, thank you for having me back on the show. It's a pleasure and honor to be invited back, so I really appreciate that. Just a little bit about my channeling. I guess maybe you would be talking a little bit about it, but maybe I can share a little bit from my channeling experience and how I really started channeling. I was led down the path with my guides showing me that I had done channeling in many lifetimes. And I had always was very, very fascinated by channelers, even when I was growing up and even into adulthood. And then I was led down a path where I'd seen movies on channelers, and of course, one that we all know of, Abraham Hicks. And so as soon as I was listening to Abraham, they had showed me that I had done this in other lifetimes, and I really could relate to that. And they showed me that that was going to be something I was going to be doing again in this lifetime. So I started working with channeling teachers and reading up on channeling, and decided to allow them to use me as a conduit. And it was scary and nervous at first, but I started connecting with a group that I typically work with, the Divine High Beings of Light, and they are usually the ones that I'm always channeling, only 100% pure love and light, of course. And so here we are, and here I am with you, going to work with them again, so I'm really looking forward to this, so thanks for having me on.
Sure, that sounds good. Can you tell us a little bit about the concept behind who are the Divine High Beings of Light?
Yeah, they came to me, and they kind of joke around. Each one of them have their own kind of personalities. Some of them have a really good sense of humor, and again, like I said, they're 100% pure light, and I always ensure that that we're working and we're divinely protected before we get started in any kind of a session. And I ensure that they are the ones that I am working with, as it's a universal law that anything that could possibly be cloaked or anything like that must be completely removed when we are calling them out. So I'm always ensuring that they are here with me and ask for tangible physical signs in how my body feels when I'm working with them. And so they kind of joke around that they're called the ball, DHBOL, Divine High Beings of Light, the ball. So,
okay.
And they are a group of not only just archangels, but also ascended masters. And usually the ones that like to work with me have a very good sense of humor. They are Eastern, Asian, and Indian ascended masters, and they usually do have an accent, and my voice changes quite drastically when I am channeling them. So it's fun. They say that they do it for my entertainment purposes as well as the entertainment purposes of who I'm channeling for, and it's also physical, tangible evidence for me, as I've asked that I want that kind of evidence very apparent to come through that I am channeling them. So they find that kind of humorous, and so do I, and so we just kind of have fun with that when they come through.
Will the accent change as different, say, ascended masters come through, or do they still talk pretty much in one uniform voice through you?
Yeah, it does change depending on who is coming through, and sometimes it gets a little bit lighter of an accent. Sometimes the energy is a little bit different. It is more obvious probably to me when there is more of a female energy coming through. The accent seems to be a lot less light, and it sounds like more of my voice. When it has more of a male energy, that's the best way I can describe it, a male energy, then the accent is much heavier. And sometimes the tone and inflections are what can change. Sometimes some of them are a little bit more direct, and you can feel there's this witty, kind of almost a witty sense of humor, direct, witty sense of humor, very dry, and then some of them can be sometimes a little bit more soft and loving and kind, and so you can tell those differences as well.
Great. Okay. Well, I think I'm about ready to go if you are and if they are.
They are, and if you just give me about 30 seconds, they've been ready to go, and they've got quite a bit to say. So give me about 30 seconds, and then I will adjust my energy. Their energies will start coming in even stronger through me, and I will announce when I'm ready.
Okay. Thank you.
One moment while we adjust her energies. Good day, dear one.
Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for allowing Sophia to bring through your energies and your information. I appreciate it.
We welcome this as we have been waiting for you to invite us. So thank you for having us here.
Well, thank you. For this particular show and interview, I wanted to talk about our reality. Many people are getting sensitized in some ways that for them can be very disconcerting. Others are advanced spiritually and notice things changing. But I wanted to talk about our reality and how it is shifting in a number of ways.
Yes. This planet, please proceed. We understand you were going to speak further.
Yes, it seems to be shifting, and I would like to get your perspective on how those shifts look, and then I'll add other questions as they come to me.
Yes, you are correct. There are many on this planet that are feeling this shift and are very confused by the shift that is going on, as everyone is sensitive. However, many are very unaware of what these shifts mean or what is going on. They are experiencing this in their own personal lives, many upheavals in their relationships, in their health, careers, financials. All of that is causing many upheavals for many. They are unaware that there is a shift because there must be a breakdown of many systems on the planet as it is evolving into many new ways of being and doing things. This must happen in order for the ascension process to continue, the ascension and awakening process, as you humans would call it. This must happen. However, many will go into much chaos as much is being lost in their eyes. They are feeling very sensitive to this, much hurt and pain and suffering. However, this is by choice, as they are unaware and are resisting their awareness and awakening process. They are very attached to the old ways of being, and so it is causing them much suffering. However, it is all of a choice, as well as we must keep in mind that there are what you would call soul contracts in place. Soul contracts that there is an awakening and awareness process at this time. Again, this humans are resisting what is within their soul contract and what is inevitable. Many are awakening at this time because there are many lifetimes and experiences that have already been lived. And so it is coming to an end, or what we consider a beginning of the awakening, because many lifetimes have already been lived. These experiences have already been lived. And so the awareness of who you all are as multidimensional beings is coming to the awakening and making you aware of who you are here, and why you are here. But many are refusing and resisting this. And so it is causing much confusion and suffering. The more that one holds on tightly to attachment of this physical, material realm that you all live in, the more challenging it will be for that one to let go. However, those of you that are going and are aware of this process of the awakening and the ascension, you are going through challenges as well. However, you are able to find the meaning behind this and are aware that you are going through this process, as it will assist in the next phase of your life as well as the planet. However, it all must come. Everybody must come. For those that choose not to, many will also let go and decide that they do no longer want to be on the planet, that they want to move on to doing something else, as you would all call it, which means that they will decide that they do not want to be here on the planet any longer, or they choose that they will go into another lifetime. So everybody will have challenges during the process of this transformation into another level of ascension. Some call it dimensions, and going into higher dimensions. That is the typical term that many humans will use. That is not necessarily the highest term that we would use, as there is no term. However, that term is acceptable in your human eyes, into another dimension, raising to another dimension, that is fine if that is the only word that you all will understand and can relate to. This is the raising of releasing any fears. As you all go into these higher dimensions, as you call it, this eliminates any fears or lower vibrational frequencies. There is more awareness. There is more of alignment with the divine source. The alignment with the divine source eliminates, dissipates all fear or these lower energies. And what is left is more light, or what you would all consider, in your best terminology, love. That is what is love. You will see many changes in government and financial institutions, relationships, and how relationships and marriages are looked at, your intimate relationships, as well as health. You will see, as you are allowing to align with the ascension process and going into these higher dimensions, many, many ways of being will change. You may find that you will feel and look more useful as you are going through these changes in your physical being. And that is because you are allowing and aligning with the divine being that created all of you. And as you are going through this, you will see that is the upheaval of government institutions, financial institutions. Many will be very, very upset by this. As here, you all see here in this country of the United States, an upheaval going on right now, a political upheaval. There are many things going on because of the ascension process, the upheaval. Many do not like the old ways of being, and so new is being invited in. However, understand that for the old to be replaced, these old roots must be ripped out. That is the best way that we can describe it. It is like planting new seeds in fertile soil. However, these old roots must be completely ripped out and be replaced and planted with new seeds in fertile soil for this new growth to come onto the planet, for a new crop to come onto the planet. However, once again, there is much fear around this upheaval, this ripping out the old and allowing the new to come in, as many are attached to the old. However, it must be done, and years from now, as this process continues, you will see a whole new different planet evolving to more of what will be more satisfactory to all of you.
Thank you. That's very helpful. One of the images that comes to mind for me is the concept of the caterpillar that becomes a butterfly. The caterpillar in the chrysalis actually liquefies and goes back into raw material before it can reform as a butterfly. And maybe we're at a process step like that for a metaphor.
That is a very, very good example.
As part of this, You didn't mention another institution, but religion certainly seems to be a major part of this as people are shifting, where people out of fear fall back into trying to grab on to the traditional religions for comfort or solace, rather than trying to look at how can we evolve our religions to meet up with a lot of people's spiritual needs, since they don't seem to be there.
Correct.
Well, tell us some more. As we're changing our vibration level or shifting, how does that affect our time and our time history here? It seems like we're starting to get phenomena that appear that some of our past history is changing dynamically now.
Yes. One moment. We are still back on your question of religion.
I'm sorry?
We are still referring back to your question on religion.
Okay.
We would like to address that religion that you have inquired about.
Please do.
Yes. Many will be grasping as there is, as we have spoken about, chaos on the planet within oneself and much confusion in one's relationship or health or financials or many other things that is going on in one's personal life as well as career. And they will go to what, again, they will go back to what they are familiar with. However, they will see as the vibrational change, the vibration on the planet changes, which changes their vibration. Some of these old ways, including religion, will not feel or make sense any longer to them that the way they used to. Some of the things may still make sense. Anything around love, compassion, sharing of knowledge, giving, receiving, anything that brings more love, light to the planet will still resonate. Those things will not be let go. However, the old ways of being in religion, anything that does not resonate around with fear, will no longer resonate with the individual. That will not resonate. And so these religions, as you all would like to label it, what resonates will stay with the individual and the rest will not. Seeking as for the individual to seek even more knowledge, what you all may consider higher knowledge, shared knowledge from others. There are more and more seeking this knowledge, this way of being that is not coming from any religions. It is coming from a knowing within. It is aligning with that knowing within knowing the divine again. That is the knowledge that the individual will continue to align and seek. And until that alignment is one with the divine, it will continue to go on seeking that knowledge. It may be found in this lifetime and it may be not. we conclude that portion. Do you have more questions on that religion?
Yes. I remember one of our philosophers and enlightened beings, Joseph Campbell, talking about how the old religions are going to fade and die, but he sees the replacements coming out of artists, people who write or do art or conceptualize in a way that a lot of people would say is more forthcoming from a heart base rather than intellectual. Do you see new forms coming through that way for us?
Yes. There are always new forms coming through. So many that it will no longer be called a religion, but the foundation of what comes from the heart-based and aligned with the knowing within, the alignment with the divine, is what you shall all feel. However, some may still call it religion, as there must be some type of label for it, but there are different types. There are many different paradigms and shifts and multi-dimensional ways of this coming in to all of you to align with this.
Good. Thank you.
We ask that you again ask the question that you had prior to us going to religion.
Okay, thanks. What I was starting to ask was time seems to be becoming more fluid for us. It seems to be shifting. We're getting perceptions that some of our history may be changing dynamically, and possibly this is due to overlaps with other parallel universes or alternate realities. So I was wondering if you could talk about that.
You are all multidimensional beings. There are many other lifetimes going on at the same time as this one. So the lifetimes are crossing over. Many of you may say the word that you are experiencing is deja vu. However, keep in mind, once again, these are coming to one, coming to awakening and awareness that you are more than just here in your physical bodies. Your soul, as you would call it, your light, your soul is in many other lifetimes as well as this one. And so it would make sense to you that you are feeling other lifetimes and other experiences crossing into this one in your relationships as well, in your health as well, in many different aspects of your life in this one as well. We would like to explain an example. For example, you'll get into an argument with a loved one or perhaps a coworker. That may be an experience that you are also having in another lifetime at this same moment. You are feeling the energies in this lifetime. Maybe no words are being spoken, however, you feel the tension between you and another, which escalates to an energy of not a vibrational match, which causes an argument. But you don't know why. You don't understand what the tension is all about. it is because it is going on in another lifetime. You could be having war with this other person. It could be happening in another universe, another galaxy, dimension, in another cosmos, another paradigm. There are things going on that your human mind cannot understand, but it is feeling it all within your human body, within the energy. You will become more conscientious of this as you are going into your awakening. You will be able to find more meaning behind why things are happening in your life. You will see more of these other lifetimes that you are experiencing. You will understand the soul contracts, karmic contracts that you have with others. You will understand what is going on with your body, any illnesses, what has happened that is going on in other lifetimes that has caused this in your body at this moment. And when you find the meaning and you understand this, you then can adjust your energy to heal yourself. When you do this, this shifts an energy amongst the others around you to assist them in changing their perspective as well, changing their energies, which will cause a vibrational effect and ripple healing within themselves as well. It is all energy. As you all change on an individual basis, your energy will ripple positive healings throughout the planet. However, it starts with your awareness. Do you have more questions around this?
Yes. Since I've been doing energy healing work and various types of healing for a long time, your words resonate with me. Would it be appropriate or accurate to say that for somebody who is spiritually evolved and has a higher awareness, that if they have health issues, that those health issues generally tie into other lives, other lifetimes that are connected to them through their energy, and that by working on themselves for however it happens to get a healing, then it would also project healing to most of those other lifetimes that have a similar condition.
Yes, that is accurate. We also want to express that it also comes into play what you chose in your karmic contracts, your soul contracts to experience in those lifetimes. So there is healing. It also depends on what you chose in all lifetimes to experience. Does that make sense?
Yes. If you go in and are allowed to start modifying your soul contract or your karmic concepts, do those ripple to the other lifetimes as well?
It is something that you choose. They can be, they may not be. It is of a choosing. Sometimes the souls will insist that there are no overrides, even if it is requested. As the soul knows that there is an experience that it must have that will not only affect itself, but it will bring greater effect for others. And there are other soul contracts involved as well. You all have the option of terminating soul contracts, adjusting soul contracts, and changing them. However, there are other souls involved as well that have that option. So if it is agreeable, that is a possibility, yes, that it may cross over into other lifetimes. However, in these other lifetimes, again, you are multidimensional beings. You may decide that any contract that asks you to override the contract that is going on may not come into effect. Do you understand?
Yes, that helps. Thank you. Something that I see showing up on the internet is a concern that some of the things that we do with high energy physics, like the CERN accelerator, can be affecting our reality, our time, things like that. Is that your understanding?
Your time and your reality is changing very quickly. Many of you know that this year in particular, time is compressing very quickly. You are seeing the results of what you're asking for escalate many times faster than what it has in your past years. Again, there is the ascension process. This is the collective consciousness of all of your decisions. Many of you are very, what you would call, tired of how things have been. You have been here many lifetimes doing this work. You want it to speed up. You knew that coming into this lifetime that you could change this and speed it up and watch and witness this come to fruition. So you decided that you would come back in this lifetime. Many, many other lifetimes ago, this decision was made. Some of you made the decision after the last lifetime. Some of you made the decision many, many lifetimes ago. Time is compressing and everything is moving faster and some things are moving slower. You all chose to have certain experiences, and certain experiences would come only if other experiences would come first. This is why the timelines are shifting drastically. For some of you, it feels slower because, as many of you humans would express in these terms, putting the cart before the horse. You must have certain experiences in order for other experiences to come. Some of you have chosen to adjust and change your soul contract. There are many millions of ways for you to achieve what you have come for in this lifetime. There is one big overall, what you would call goal for why you are here. But there are many paths for you to get there. And more than ever, we have told you through many other teachers, sharers of knowledge, that you have more free will now on the planet than you ever have. You have more ability to choose and do things because of where you have evolved in your humanity. However, having this knowledge scares some. Having this much, what you all would consider and call power. This must be used wisely. Many of you do not realize that the challenges that you are facing in your life are what you have chosen because of how powerful you are. When you understand this and when you choose to take responsibility for who you are and you have a knowing of who you are, which is one with the divine, you will choose to use these, what you call powers, more wisely, so that you will choose not to be under stress and in fear. As you know that you are aligned with the divine and you choose your path. And therefore you will choose an easier path. However, some of you have decided that that is not the way that you would like to go. Some of you have decided that you would like more adventure on the planet, so you choose different ways to create your stories and your adventures. Perhaps you were bored in other lifetimes, and that wasn't enough adventure for you. So you chose more adventure in this lifetime. There is no right or wrong. We express to you there is no right or wrong. It is of your choosing. We hope that we have answered some questions on your time and
yes, very much. On the planet right now, are there people who are moving off of this planet to other parallel Earths that are higher vibration? Is that
Yes.
physically happening?
Yes. We are we express to you, you are all multi-dimensional beings. We will say it as best as we can in human terms, although this is not how we perceive it necessarily energetically. Your energies are in other places, other dimensions, lower dimensions, higher dimensions, what you would label lower, higher, as we want to express to you there is no duality. However, this is the best way that we can explain it to you. As you are a human and you are living on a planet where there is duality. However, yes, you all are in different places that you choose to be, having different adventures. Whether you call that higher, lower, it does not mean anything to us. It is simply just something that you have chosen for your adventure. Does not mean better or worse. However, in your humanness, you may look at it as that way. Some of you are in more advanced places, advanced dimensions, planets, universes, galaxies. Some of you are in not so advanced places. We consider, if we would put it in human terms, the earth as kindergarten. No, not kindergarten, preschool. Preschool.
Yes.
Have fun. Do you have another question?
Yes. In conjunction with this, many people seem to have their gifts, their what do we call them, psychic or metaphysical gifts or spiritual gifts, are being activated. Is that part of this change and shift, especially with the time compression?
Yes. However, many choose not to use their gifts as much. All of you have the gift. It is not used necessarily as a profession, as that is not what your life mission is here. That is not your life's work. You have all decided to come here to have experiences of a certain life's work. Some of you have chosen to have what you call a spiritual path, sharing your knowledge of being aligned with the divine, assisting others to awaken to who they are. Not everyone has that path, as you are all spiritual because you have spirit. You are spirit. You are spirit that just happens to be carrying a human body in this lifetime, bigger than you are. However, some of you choose not to use your gifts as strongly or deny what we would call your gut intuition. Because once again, you have free will on the planet, and there are many paths to get to what your bigger goal is, your reason for being here. Some reasons are not so glorified. Some of you have chosen that maybe perhaps your only purpose here is to have fun. Have fun. So all you do is have fun. And that is okay. There is no label on that. That is your reason for being here. Some of you have decided to be here to work be strict in your working ways. Some of you have chosen to just come into this lifetime to experience an illness. Some of you have come here to experience forgiveness, compassion. There is no judgment. You have come here and you will all have the same experiences in some manner or another. Some of you do not understand that you all have, in your human labels, been rich, poor, ill, strong, gay, straight, black, white, Hispanic, Asian, mean, nice. These are all labels. These are all experiences that you have had in many lifetimes. Some of them you would have been killed and murdered for your experiences. Some of you have chosen to be the ones that killed and murdered. All of you chose that you would have these experiences so that you would know what it is like to live in a world of duality, to be on the other side. Again, this is adventure. Many of you will choose to ignore what we say, perhaps because your frequency does not vibrate right now. You are in resistance. And that is okay too. You have chosen that path as well. We do not come here to convince anyone, as we all know that you are all divine. You are all here on your path. You have chosen your path, and we respect that. It is of your free will. And many of you will choose to use your gifts, the gifts of following your heart and your gut intuition. Many of you came here with a soul contract not to do so, and that is okay as well. We honor your path. Did we answer your question?
Yes, very nicely. Thank you. One more question on something else. I'm perceiving, and so are others, that we have many non-traditional human beings walking among us. And I was wondering if you could talk about that on the different spiritual entities that have chosen to sort of show up and in their way participate with our reality.
You are all non-traditional, are you not?
Yes, we're not traditional, but I'm thinking of those who, if you said this is a human form, here are others who look like they're human, but who are not human at this point as we think of it.
Yes.
I was just wondering if you could talk about those.
Yes. There are so many here to have experiences from other galaxies, dimensions, planets that are what you all might call visitors. Many of you that have adjusted to being in a human body and enjoy the human experience and have been here many, many, many times over, have adjusted more well. There are others amongst you all that for the first time or the second time or very limited amount of times, this is their experience. Those are the ones that may be mislabeled. Some of them are very obvious. You can see it within their eyes, within their energy, that this may be a very limited visit number of times they have been here to experience. So they have a very challenging time adjusting. And because they are challenged by their adjustments here, they are mislabeled as you humans would consider it a misfit, not to be derogatory. It is simply that missing, fitting in. You will see many more of these. There are many more births, as there are many more visitors. You all consider them visitors, but you must recall that you are visitors as well. You have just experienced more lifetimes here. As we are going through this ascension process with you, we are witnessing that the new crop of children on the planet in the last 50 years, and there are more coming in the last 30 years, are being mislabeled ADD, ADHD, and autistic, amongst other labels that you humans would like to put on them when they do not fit in. These are the ones that are very connected to the cosmos, as you are as well. They are becoming more obvious, however, than you all, because of the process of ascension and your awareness that there is more than just what is here on this planet amongst you, that you all are aware that you come from other universes and galaxies and dimensions and cosmos. As you are aware of this, you are calling in your brothers and sisters and other beings to join you here. You are becoming more accepting of them. Some of you would like it to be different, attached to your old ways. However, this is part of the process that you signed up for. These beings that are coming here are communicating very differently. Because they are communicating very differently, and their, what you would call technology in their communication is what is more considered advanced. They are being mislabeled However, what they bring here is a knowledge that will advance your planet, that will assist in advancing all of you. Many of them come with an operation from their heart base. Some of them do not. But that is because the planet is still in a dimension where there is duality. So there is a balance. We ask that you embrace both sides. That is what makes you a human. That is why you chose here to come here for this adventure. Some of you can identify these other beings very quickly. You can feel it within the energy. You see it within their face, how they carry themselves, how they walk, how they talk. Their face, their bodies, their physical way of being is different. They have come here like you for the experience. They have come here, in some cases, to bring something to the planet to take home with them, to send information home. Some of them come here surely for the experience. Some of them come here to bring something to the planet. Whether that is more light, what you would consider that, or more dark. But you are here on a planet of duality. When you can accept that and fully be aware and embrace both sides of who you are, you will see that you are continuing to align with the divine, as the divine does not see good or bad. The divine sees one. Do you have more questions?
I think we're about done. I want to thank you as the Divine High Beings of Light for bringing us this information through Sophia, and we honor her for her role as a channel, and blessings to all of you. So thank you.
We bid you farewell. Thank you. We shall bring Sophia back now.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, my goodness.
A lot of information.
Oh, yeah, they had a lot to say.
Are you doing well?
I am. During this time, my physical body, when I'm channeling, just so all of you know, kind of my experience, when I'm or what they like to call it, translating. My eyes get very, very watery, and my body is held completely, perfectly still, almost to the point where I feel like a rock, and I really can't even move. I can't even like bring my eyes up or bring my fingers up to like wipe all the tears from my eyes, because it's almost like I'm just in such still motion. The kind of energy that runs through me is makes me very, very stiff. And basically the only thing that can move it a little bit is my head and my mouth, of course. So it's nice to have them come and use me as an instrument and a conduit, and it's also nice to be able to move. Yeah. So and I do enjoy having them come through me. It's nice to hear the information and knowledge that they're sharing. So those are great questions. Thank you. Thank you for that, Dave.
Well, thank you for being on the show. You have a website. Would you tell the listeners what that is? Yeah,
I have a brand new website. It is myspiritualenergy.com. MySpiritual energy, ENERGY, spelled just like it sounds, myspiritualenergy.com. You can find out all kinds of things that are going on with me there. You can even listen to this recording there. Again, I'll be posting it up there, as well as an interview that you did with me, Dave, this last time. So you guys can book appointments. Just browse to the website. So yeah, it's I'm proud of it, and I worked with that with my along. So hopefully you guys enjoy that.
That's great. Well, thanks again. And for our listeners, next week our guest is psychic lawyer Mark Anthony. So please join us for that. And thank you for listening. And good night.
Good night, everyone.